Guys, how you doing? It's Ray here from City Fan TV. How you doing? I think all the football's finished for the night. I think we've got new leaders of the Premier League. We've got Arsenal on meltdown. I suspect you guys are waiting for AFTV to come on live because they're in serious meltdown right now. What we got, is this right? Spurs are top. Liverpool are second, Leicester third, Southampton fourth, Chelsea fifth, then West Ham, Everton, Man United, and down in ninth, Manchester City down in ninth, 1 point ahead of Aston Villa, who've got a game in hand. It's not looking fantastic. And even if we win our game in hand, we get up to 22 points, we will still only be sixth. We're not going to get the goal difference up on Chelsea. We're on plus 13. We're on plus 6. So we'll be up into sixth place. Still, people are still going to hang on to this. Listen, we're only 3 points behind Spurs, only 3 points behind Liverpool, which is true. But 3 points is still three, Don't think we're going to win our game in hand. It's not a gimme. City have won less than half their games this season. We played 11 games. We've only won 5 games this season, 5 out of 11. And I've said, when we played the teams at the top, we played Spurs, we got nothing. Liverpool got a point. Leicester, we got nothing. Yeah, we played West Ham, we got a point. We played United, we got a point. 5 games. 5 games there, guys. 5 games, and we got 3 points. 3 points from 5 games is disgusting. We played 4 of the teams in the bottom 6. If you include Wolves, we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We played out of the bottom 8. We've played 6 teams. 6 teams out of the bottom 8. Yeah, we've won 5, drawn 1. Flat track bullies. Flat track bullies. Flat track bullies. As I said, we beat Sheffield United, we beat Fulham, beaten Burnley, beaten Arsenal, drew with Leeds, beaten Wolves. Bottom of the league, yeah, we can do them. Top of the league, no, we can't. Obviously, it's not working. Let's get to your comments. Hi, Faris. Hi, Aaron. Aaron says taxi for Arteta. There's a lot of pressure on Mikel Arteta. You could turn around and say, well, Arsenal are only... they're in 15th. Okay, it's not looking good. But they're only 2 wins away from City. They played a game extra. They need to go on a run, and it ain't happening. Yeah, feel sorry for Arteta. But, look, he took up that. Liverpool were looking to get a point. Well, Faris, it's not really against Aston Villa. We've got... Let's be clear. We've got 27 games to go. It doesn't matter that we missed that game against Villa because it'll come round again, whether we did or we didn't. People talk about when are we going to play Villa? We might end up playing Villa next April. So I wouldn't look at that and I wouldn't say it's a gimme. They've scored more goals than us, haven't they, Aston Villa? So nothing is a gimme. We've not scored a lot of goals. It's not looking great. Guys, give us a thumbs up if you can. Let's get a few thumbs up today. At least we have some good news. Manchester City's women's team beat Arsenal, scoring in the 93rd minute. Great goal from Caroline Weir, and at least we won some. A game that we were struggling to score. All the possession we had, we ended up winning that. So at least there's a little bit of good news. That City's women's team had won. They had to. They had to win. This is the difference. It's a smaller league. Okay, there's only 22 games, but City's women's had to win. Otherwise, United would have been even further clear. United, I think, already were 5 points. They're 5 points clear. If we'd lost, they'd have been 7 points clear. There's not enough games, and Chelsea behind United, so we couldn't afford to lose. We couldn't afford to lose to draw and drop 7 points behind United. And we fought to the end. We were trying till the very last minute. Lots of half chances. a lot of pressure, a lot of possession, and we won that game. Now, can you imagine if we tried that against United yesterday? Could we have won it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, next 4 fixtures, how many points do you expect to get? Well, let's look at the fixtures, guys. Okay. This is obviously where it's important. We need to know who we're playing. So I'm just going to pull up the fixtures. We'll go into the player ratings in a minute. So Man City fixtures. Okay. Here we go. We've got some tough games. We've got the West Brom game. We'll win that. Okay. West Brom aren't good enough. It's in Manchester. We beat the teams at the bottom. Then we've got, I think this is a make or break part of our season. Okay, the next 6 games. That's the make or break part. We've got to win games. We've got Southampton away. Southampton, if I'm right, have scored 24 goals in their 12 games. We've got 17 in 11. So Southampton are scoring goals. So we've got to go and play them next weekend. Believe me, that is going to be a very, you know it yourselves, it's a tough game. Then 3 days later, we've got Arsenal away in the Carabao Cup. We've got to win that game. Simply have to win that game to get to the semi-final, because who knows, like last season, this might be our only chance of silverware. Then we've got a game against Newcastle, another mid-table team. We've got to beat them. Then we've got 2 toughies. 2 days after the Newcastle game, we're playing away at Everton, who are above us in the league, probably scored more goals than us. So that's going to be tough. And then we've got Chelsea away as well on the 2nd of January. So in all honesty, we have got a tough little period, and we've got to win. You know, as I said, we've got to beat West Brom. We have to beat Southampton. We can't just go and get a draw against Southampton. We have to beat them, and that might be our downfall. We have to beat Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. We have to beat Newcastle at home. We have to beat Everton away. Then we've got Chelsea. Then we've got, some easier games, you could argue. We've got Birmingham in the FA Cup, Brighton at home in the league, then Crystal Palace at home in the league, West Brom away, Sheffield United at home. So we could have a really, really good run in the league. Then we've got Burnley away and Liverpool away. So Liverpool's in February, but we could have a really good run after the Chelsea game. We've got Birmingham, Brighton, Palace, West Brom, Sheffield United, Burnley, where we could actually win 5 league games on the bounce. We've got to win 5 league games on the bounce before we play Liverpool. Then we've got a tough games. Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, West Ham, United. So a lot of tough, and then Champions League's back again. So there's a lot of tough stuff. And this is the thing. We're going to have the Champions League back. Okay? Champions League back when we've got all these tough fixtures. That's not including more rounds of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So our next 4 games, if you exclude Arsenal, then okay, I'll exclude Arsenal. Simple thing in the league, we've got to beat West Brom, we've got to beat Southampton, we've got to beat Newcastle, we've got to beat Everton. Then I'd take a draw against Chelsea because we're away, but I'd want to beat them. But we've got to win our next 4 league games. And I'll throw the Arsenal game in because we've got to win it. And the thing is, we have not won many games back-to-back this season. And as I said, we've only won 5 games in the league in 11. Not good enough. You're expecting 10 points. 4 games, we've got to get at least 10 points. Otherwise, this is going quick. 3 points on Tuesday. Hey, West Brom are at the bottom. We'll get 3 points. Minimum 8, but Forest 8 is not good enough. 8, Southampton are decent, but we've got to start beating teams that are above us. Why can't we win against top 6? Well, Pep's not gone for it. He didn't go for it against Liverpool. He didn't go for it against United. We should have beat United. We should have beat Liverpool. West Ham is the only game I turn around and say, we were all over them. We should have scored. We should have won. They got 1 goal, but it was a lucky goal. You don't score them too regularly. So I'm not so concerned about that. But we've not been, look, we've not won because we're not good enough. That's the truth, Leotil. Faris, what's that? Everton isn't easy. Everton isn't easy, absolutely. Champions League's back in February, Faris. February. Season's long, but there's a lot to play for, but you can't keep giving up points. Yesterday, unbeknown to us, was a chance to make up 2 points on Liverpool, a chance to make 2 points on Spurs, and a chance to make 3 points on Chelsea. And then we're in the mix. Then we're really in the mix. Now we're not. Liverpool, City, United, Tottenham, and Chelsea all drop points. Absolutely, Haj. And that's doubly frustrating that we didn't take advantage of that. And Farid says we should have won against Leeds. Many pens were not given, and Sterling didn't take his chance. Look, it's too often that Sterling doesn't take his chances. Would you want Foden in the team on Tuesday? I think Foden might well play because West Brom are a poor team. But we've got to go and stuff them. Faris, we should have won yesterday. It's not could have won. We should have won. With the chances we had, Sterling's chance, Mahrez's chance, Gabriel Jesus' chance. United, okay, they had a couple of chances as well, but we had enough to win that game. I don't know, Aaron. I honestly don't know how we're going to win these games because Pep's sticking to Mahrez. Mahrez flatters to deceive. I said flat track bullies. Against Burnley, would he score a hat-trick? But against Liverpool, invisible, pretty much. Or if he played it. In the big teams, he's not done the business. I think Foden will play. Mahrez and Sterling to be benched. Absolutely, Robert. They've not done the business. They've had too many chances. And this is Pep's problem. On one hand, he tells the players, like Laporte, you can't go on your reputation. You can't, live on your past performances. It's what you're doing now and going forwards. Okay? So he's happy to drop Laporte, which I agree with, but he's not happy to drop Sterling. He's not happy to drop Mahrez. Sorry. Nothing's going to change, Aaron, and that's the problem. That's the problem with Pep. He's too stubborn. Aguero, his gastro should be over. I don't think he should start. I don't mind having Ferran Torres up front, to be honest, or Cole Palmer. Why can't we play the kids? We won't. We're still in it if we win the game and in hand with just 3 points. Cole, I totally understand it's not over, but we're not making it easy for ourselves. When Liverpool are dropping points, we're not taking advantage of that. And then you're going to get the situation not too long in the distant future. Liverpool have lost some players, but Jota's going to be back in 6 weeks? So he's going to be back in January. All their players will start to come back. And it may be that all these players coming back will make them a really, really strong team again. They're still a good team, but that might bring them back to last season's level of performance. Now, do you want to be 3, 4, 5 points behind when Virgil van Dijk comes back, when all their team are back? Do you want to be 4 or 5 points behind then? I don't. Because they've won it last season, so they've got some, and they fought hard the season before, so they know what it takes now. They've got some mentality for it. No urgency, no speed, no nothing, says Cameron. No passion to show we are playing against our rivals. Mahrez's time is up, says Cameron. We can blame personnel, but at the end of the day, if Pep needs to fix the system, we won't win the league. We won't because Pep, the system's not working. The fact that we've got 2 DMs now, 2 DMs. I haven't even listened back to this. We did a podcast today for Bolt from the Blue. And I said, if you're going to play with 2 DMs, okay, then you're relying on your front players to be even better. They have to be top notch because you're not going to get so many chances. You've got to put them away. That chance to Gabriel Jesus. Okay, let's say if you've got someone like Lewandowski up front, then you can play the system 4-2-3-1 or 4-2-1-3, whatever. You can play it because you've got a man who you know is going to get 1 or 2 chances and he's going to score 1 or 2 goals. Gabriel Jesus had that chance, he fluffed it. Sterling had the chance, he fluffed it. Mahrez had the chance, he fluffed it. Now, you've got 3 decent chances there. You've got to be scoring 1 goal. And look at the times that when we had, I remember KDB putting a cross in, there was nobody in the box. The person who got it, Cancelo, out wide on the wing. We've got nobody in the box. So you can't play with the personnel we've got, with the system we've got. You can't do it. If you're going to play with two DMs, your four forwards have to be fantastic. Now look at Liverpool. Use them as an example. Okay, they will use three fantastic forwards, whether it's Jota, Mane, Salah. And more often than not, those guys deliver. Those guys are delivering, or when it was Firmino before that, between the three of them, they're delivering. The rest of the team, are there to make sure these guys deliver. They get good crosses in, they're doing the business, okay? And they've got that mentality as well, and that intensity. Our press is off, our passing is off. Look at Sterling. Sterling had a great pass through to him. Okay, he was through. He couldn't control it. He tried to control it with his right foot. He didn't control it, went out. Now, if Mahrez was there, he controls that with his left foot, has a good shot with his left foot. Whether he scores or not, who knows? But Sterling had a great opportunity. He didn't control the ball, and it wasn't the only time. Was yesterday's game of Derby to me? Yeah, look, Cameron, as Gary James said, you got more bite, you got more guts in Arthur Alberston's testimonial. It was not a good effort to put in a Derby. Liverpool have shown that they are inconsistent, same as us. Faris, look, we can swing this whichever way we want. Okay? Liverpool have lost one game this season. They've won 7. Okay? They've drawn the same as us, but they've lost one game. We've lost 2. You can argue we're only 3 points behind. Yes, but honestly, I look at this and I say we should have got 2 more points against United, and we should have got 2 more points against West Ham. Should have, could have, would have. Yeah? But that puts us on 23 with the game in hand. You've got to be beating these teams. You've got to be beating these teams. We've had the chances against Leeds, Leicester, and we didn't take them. And that's why I said that we haven't got the right players for the system. It might be back towards the end of the season, Cole, but they'll have everybody else. They've been struggling a little bit because they haven't got the personnel, but they'll have everybody else. Pep changed the system. We aren't playing like we did in the past years. He changed the system, but it isn't effective. He's changed the system by putting 2 DMs. He's changed the system by having somebody to support Rodri, somebody to free Rodri. For what? Tell me what Rodri does. Honestly, guys, tell me what Rodri does that Fernandinho on his own can't. What's that called? Bayern played 2 DMs, but Goretzka can drive forward when needed, and Muller is a master at working in the pockets. KDB needs to improve if he's going to play this system. That's it, Cole. We haven't got the personnel. They're not good enough. I mean, let's be honest. Sterling on the left, Mahrez on the right, Gabby Jesus up front. Is that going to put the fear of anything into someone like Bayern Munich? Look at Bayern Munich. Who have they got up front, Bayern Munich? They got Gnabry playing pretty well. I don't watch them, okay, so I can't say much besides Lewandowski. But you got Gnabry as well. Would you rather have right now Gnabry or Sterling? And whoever they've got on the right, would you have them or Mahrez? I don't think you're going to question that. Well, Jesus start against West Brom. I think he will, Queen versus King. I can't see anything else. Omar Abdurrahman, let's learn to shoot. I've been saying that for 2 seasons, even when we scored 102 goals in that formidable season, or even last season, we scored, it was 102 goals, sorry. And I said, we're not scoring enough. People need to stop looking at a game in hand. We need to get past what's in front of us, Cameron. Absolutely. I said, you can't look at a game in hand as 3 points. Game in hand does not mean you're getting 3 points. Messi had a similar chance Sterling gets and literally smashed it into the far post like it's nothing. You mean he scored, Faris? He scored. He's just not clinical enough. I saw Messi score like that and I was surprised because I'm used to seeing Sterling miss chances like that every time. Well, that's it. And I also said, I said a lot of stuff in that podcast. I said, because we were confident, so confident, arrogantly confident that we were going to get Messi, we took our eye off the ball and we didn't focus on a striker. We knew Aguero was injured. We knew he wasn't going to start the season. We knew he was going to miss maybe a month or 2 at the start of the season. We knew that, but we didn't get any backup. And then we went into the season without him, and then we lost Gabby. Okay, they were expecting to get Messi. They felt that would have papered up the cracks of our system, because now you've got KDB and Messi, so you've got 2 world-class players. I'm not saying that anymore. Gabriel Jesus or Mahrez. You've got two world-class players, and that can make the difference. That can make the difference, and that would have helped us, I think, win a couple more games this season. Cameron says Mahrez is shocking, he's overrated. Faris is good for Torres, Foden and Jesus as the front three. We've spent so much, don't say when you don't have the personnel. That's the problem, Omar Abdurrahman. We spent the money, but for the system he's playing, we haven't got the personnel. I say that. If you're going to play two defensive midfielders, your four attackers have to be mint. And they're not. We've got one mint player in KDB trying too hard. Sterling, Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus don't do it for me. Torres, he needs time. And Aguero's not there. He's not fit. So we spend the money. We have personnel, but not for this system. We've not got the attackers for the system. Now, it might, as I said, they felt they were going to get Messi. That would have sorted out their attacking problems this season. And then next summer or the summer after, they're going to go after Haaland. They're going to go after Patson Daka. They're going to go after Darwin Núñez or Martinez or Mbappe or whoever. They will get the proper striker later because they felt that Messi would cover. He would paper over the cracks. Do you think these players are cutting in and not creating enough width? I've said it for ages, Cole. You've got Cancelo cutting in. You've got Sterling cutting in. You've got Mahrez cutting in. And Walker going in or out into an inverted centre for fullback or going out. And we're narrowing the pitch. When we were good, we were wide. We had the wingers out wide, hugging that touchline. We had the defenders, the fullbacks out wide, hugging that touchline. We stretched the game. When you cut inside and play narrow, well, there's a massive part of the pitch that the defender doesn't need to cover. Now, when you got Mahrez out wide, can you imagine Wan-Bissaka playing against Sterling? And if Wan-Bissaka's on the edge of his penalty area and Sterling's out wide, he has to go out to him. Okay, Angelino made a fool out of Wan-Bissaka, 2 assists and a goal. Yes, they've got a different system and everything else, but you've got to use that width. Players are still underperforming, and that's not on Pep. But Faris, Sterling's been underperforming for how long? People ignore it. He's got 1 assist in the league last season, 1 Premier League assist, and that's not team play. That is not. You're expecting a team player to have 7, 8, 10 assists. 1 assist is pathetic. People didn't focus on that. They focused on the fact that he got 20 league goals and said, wow, he's got 20 league goals. That's the most he's ever got. The previous 2 seasons, he got something like 18 and 17. So he still did pretty well in the goals. He's only got 2 or 3 extra goals last season. And people are saying, that's wonderful. But his overall contribution was 21 instead of 29 or 27 in the previous 2 seasons. It's collapsed. His assists aren't there. Walker is not a problem. I'm not saying Walker is a problem, but Walker needs to defend better. So the downfall is on Pep. Pep's picking these players. Pep's buying them. Pep's got his hand in to buy them, and he's picking them. He keeps playing Raheem Sterling on the left. He keeps playing him when he's not doing well, and he keeps playing him on the left. That's Pep's choice. Mahrez isn't the problem, but he isn't the solution either. He's still got his issues. If we realise this, you think Pep can't see a problem with width? He chooses, absolutely, Cole. That's the point. Pep is choosing to play like this, and he's not changing it. He's decided to play like this, and he's not changing it. So the results are all on him. At the end of the day, the results are on him. Sterling's success last season is due to our amazing creativity from David Silva, KDB. Without them, Sterling last season would be average. Well, that's it. But every season from Sterling would be average, because if you look back, Sterling scores 2 or 3 types of goals. Okay, he gets the one where he cuts in, puts it in the far corner. He gets one where he's put through, he dinks it, or usually hits it under the keeper. But I suggest one that he would get up to 40 to 50% of his goals are simple tap-ins, because KDB's put a wonderful cross in, and all Sterling has to do, come in at the far post, tap it in. Yeah, it happened so often last season, and the last 2 seasons before that. I would suggest 40, 50% of his goals are like that. Tap-ins are tap-ins. And I kept saying last season, he's scoring goals because he's getting in the position to score goals, but he's not assisting because he's not creative enough to get those assists. That's why his assists have dropped off. Whereas in the previous 2 seasons, he was on fire, and so were we. Even that season, that for middle season, we scored, I think it was only 80-odd goals, but he still got his numbers were still good. His numbers were still good. So 2 goals, his numbers are down. It's only his goal scoring is up. That was because he was still getting in those good positions to get the tap-ins. People don't want to realise that. And he's greedier. He's looking to cut inside and he's looking to score. He's looking to score goals. Maybe he's been asked to score more goals, but he's looking to score goals. And he's not doing what he used to do, was get to the byline and pull it back. Jesus has 3 Premier League goals and 1 assist in 6 league appearances. It's not bad, Queen versus King. I'm not going to say it's rubbish, but he's got to score that goal on Saturday against United. He's got to score his chance. This period would be the best time to give chance. Pepe ain't doing that. Pepe's not going to do that, Omar Abdurrahman. You saw on Wednesday, Champions League, we're already through. We're already group winners, okay? And Pep doesn't play the kids. Someone said to me, well, he played Foden. He started Foden and he started Garcia. That's not playing the kids. These are people who are now progressed from kids into the first team, okay? We were through in that group. We were group winners. When we were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, we could have played the kids. Nothing mattered. We were qualified. We were group winners. We protected the integrity of the group. We had 10 minutes. We could have put 2 kids on. We could have put 2 kids on for the last 10 minutes because we were going to win that game. We were going to win that game. Why couldn't you put kids on for the last 10 minutes? And that's pathetic. Mahrez is too many players aren't big players. Against the big teams, we've not delivered. Neil Sinner says because of Rodri and Jesus. Hatches, I'm definitely not a fan of Sterling. Didn't really want him to start yesterday. Jesus and Sterling were the lowest rate players by others I've seen. 100% sure Delap is better than Jesus, says Neil Sinner. JRX, Ali is so underwhelming, to be honest. I don't see us challenging for the title. We haven't shown we've got it this season. The game in hand, it doesn't matter if we keep on like this. I agree. Zachariah is 6'3" tall and pacey. Fernandinho, Stones, Rodri and Diaz got the most credit by most people, which I agree with. Right, let's do it. Let's get these done. Okay, Edison. I'm going to give Edison a 6. Didn't have a lot to do. Couple of wayward passes, a couple that overhit, went out. One, I think he hits 1 or 2 straight to their players. So I've got to say I was a little bit disappointed with Edison. So I'm going to give Edison a 6. Guys, just jump in and give us your marks quickly. Queen versus King 6.5 from Faris. Man United left Sports in the last 20. We could have put Bernardo and Foden on. We could have finished the game off. Absolutely, Haj. I don't understand why. If you're worried about the defensive side of the game, well, take your wingers off, take your striker off, and bring new guys to play up front. Cole says this is why our talents want to leave. Why would they stay long term if they don't see the way? There's no way out. There's no way out. Foden's only come through because he's a City fan. That's why he stayed this long. Garcia, not a City fan. He wants off. JRX is added in a 6, 5 from Haj, 6 from Marua Ali Musa, and 5 from Umar Abdul Rahman. Okay, right back, Walker. I'm going to give Walker a 5. Okay, now for all the good stuff Walker does going forwards, and yes, there was that nice little bit of play where he took out Pogba and Fred, I think. It was really nice to see, but defensively, he was shocking. That penalty incident, okay, he was lucky that, obviously, that, what's his face, Rashford was offside. Rashford was offside, but it was Walker who wasn't there. Walker had left him alone. And then Walker got into the box and Walker fouled him. So he was at fault twice. He got lucky, okay? And as I said yesterday after the game in my notes, he made so many mistakes. Look at this, guys, okay? This is Walker. So I've got my notes. Yeah. Okay, so that was 47 minutes, that penalty. 53 minutes, Rashford's through again. Where's Walker? Nowhere. Walker gives the ball away cheaply after 55 minutes. 58 minutes, Walker passes the ball straight out the pitch. They had a shocking 15 minutes. And I've said many times, Walker doesn't concentrate. I go back to Lyon. Walker was at fault for their goal. The guy he was watching, he played everybody onside. So he didn't know that he was playing people onside. He was the last man. That's the first thing. He was focused on Cornet to watch him run. And then when Cornet did run, Walker didn't go with him. So he played everybody onside. And then the guy he was supposed to be watching, he didn't even chase him. And that was the guy that scored. Against Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final. Yes, Mendy let a cheap cross come in, but Aubameyang slipped behind Walker at the far post there. So Walker's made tons of mistakes. The penalty against Leicester, stupid mistake on the wrong side. He's making too many mistakes. So I'm going to give him a 5. Omar gives him a 4. Jarek 6. Walker gets a 6.5 from Haj. 6 from Cole. 6.5 from Faris. That wasn't a foul. It was enough to give a penalty call. That's the way it's going. So we can all argue as much as we want. That wasn't a foul, but that's what's getting penalties. So you've got to say, I can't do that sort of thing. You can't be rash. You give away against Liverpool. Yeah, you give away too much, far too much. If you go back and see, Walker's given away in less than 15 or 20 games. He's given, was it 2 penalties? He didn't chase corner, played the guy on side. And these are ones leading to goals, so you remember them even more. The Rashford one, the Aubameyang, there's 6 errors that led to goals. 6 errors, and the only one that wasn't a goal, or could have been a goal, but because Rashford was offside. So many bundles of errors. Well, there you go, Faris. Walker wasn't there, so Rashford was clean through. And Walker should have been there. It was Walker's job, in my opinion. Okay, and then he kicked him in the box. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Rashford to go down. It was enough for the ref to give a penalty, and it would have been a penalty if Rashford hadn't been offside. Walker's a rash player. He won't change. It's just how he is. We have to deal with it. Then he'll get the criticism from me and get a 5. Okay, Stones and Diaz. Once again, they played fairly well. I don't think they did anything terribly bad. I did like Stones. I was impressed with him again, and I'm glad to see he played well. We've been asking for this to see what he's going to be like against a better team. I'm not saying United are that much better than what we played, but against a team that's above us in the league, Stones had a pretty decent game. And there was one nice moment from him on the wide right where he took 2 players near the touchline. And the good thing about Stones, I see Stones carrying that ball. Diaz as well. They carry the ball past 2 or 3 players. When they see the gap, they go for it. And I'm impressed by them. So I'm going to give Stones a 7.5 and Diaz a 7. I think they're going to be the highest scorers I give tonight. Stones gets a 7 from Omar Abdurrahman. Stones and Diaz gets a 7 from Faris. Stones gets a 7 from Queen versus King. Stones gets a 7.5 from JRX, and Diaz gets a 7. Omar Abdurrahman, you're right. Walker needs to play smart, not hard. He wants to give this impression, I'm a hard man. I'm Kyle Walker. I'm a hard man. But it's not good enough. It's not good enough for us, guys. It's not good enough. Because how many penalties does he want to give away? And he's given away, that would have been the 3rd one this season. Stones gets an 8 from Ivan Bravo, and Diaz gets a 7.5. They were really our best 2 players. Cancelo, I don't think Cancelo had a bad game. I don't think he was too bad. He's creative. Actually one of our better creative players. Hard gives Stones a 7.5. I'll give a 7 to Cancelo. I thought he offered a reasonable amount for us. A couple of good crosses. He looked more dangerous than some other people on the left. So I'm going to give Cancelo a 7. 7 from JRX, 7 from Haj. I think that's decent. Score for Cancelo. Moving on to Rodri and Fernandinho as our DMs. Rodney, or Rodri, depends what you want to call him. Cancelo gets a 6 from Faris, a 7.5 from Ivan. Rodri and Fernandinho. Rodri did out for me. Okay. I don't want that kind of player. I either want a defensive player, or a ball player. Rodri is neither. He's not a defensive player, so you need a defensive player with him. All Rodri does is pass and do all these short passes, and it's not good enough for me. All these short passes, I don't like them. Fernandinho was. I'll give Fernandinho a 7. I'll give Rodri a 6 because Fernandinho did the defensive part of the job. Rodri, sorry, if you've got a person like Fernandinho alongside you, Rodri has to be creative, and he's not creative. Rodri gets a 5, Dino a 7 from Ivan. I agree with that. That's good. Rodri and Fernandinho 6.5. I can't have Rodri as anywhere near Fernandinho. Rodri gets a 6 from Queen versus King, 5.5 from Haj. Do we have a left back in the academy? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do. Oh, we got Zinchenko. Zinchenko's got to go, but he doesn't want to leave. So Academy's never going to get a look in Abdurrahman. When Pepper's gone down the line, we will use Cancelo, we will use Mendy, we will use Zinchenko before we use the kid. Rodri gets a 6 from JRX, Fernandinho gets a 7 from Mohamed Abdurrahman, Rodri gets a 5. Ferner gets a 7 from JRX. Rodri annoys me too slow, says Ivan. Fernandinho was getting those fouls and tackles in Rodri's job. Yeah, absolutely, Hard, sorry, it said Fudge. Hard, that's spot on. Fernandinho was doing Rodri's job. Rodri's offering us now. East Hull on tour. Kyle Walker was one of them elite players on the pitch. Best players on the pitch. East Hull, look, I'll tell you what, East Hull on tour, I could go on the pitch and I will put 120% in. It doesn't mean I'm going to be one of the best players. Walker made some of the biggest mistakes on that pitch. Defensively, Walker wasn't very good. Defensively, okay? He had some nice runs, took some people on, got down the byline, he's got a lot of pace, but defensively, that penalty incident, that was his foul. He's still on tour. Are you with it? Are you saying we're not slaughtering him for the effort he puts in? We're slaughtering him for the quality he puts in. Effort is nought. You can put as much effort as you want. As I said, Eastern on tour, I tell you what, I would do better. I would do better. I would put more effort in than Walker, and I'd be in the right place at the right time. I would be focused. My only problem is I'm 52 years old. I'm too fat and slow. But I'd put more effort in and I'd have more concentration. Simple as that. Rodri too slow, doesn't do anything tactically. I agree, Jerix. It's obviously a good one, and Sergio were fit. It would have been a different game. Plenty of games to go. The league is still open, and we've got to get the Champions League. I agree up to a point, Yario, because we can't. People have been saying for so many games, "Oh yeah, we got that game in hand. League's open. League's wide open." But we're not making up that difference. We're not making up the difference, especially against teams that are above us. We've got to realize. I said so. Oh, believe me, Queen versus King. I'm 10 kilos more at least than I was this time last year. So yeah, trust me. Trust me. The thing is, it's a different personnel, different. Oh, come on, Eastern on tour. My point is, yeah, you're talking out your backside. Yeah, you're talking out your backside, and I'll say that as plain as day. All you said is Walker works hard. That's all you need to do, hey? Walker works hard. That's all you need to do, and don't complain that he's working. You can work as hard as you want, you donkey. You can work as hard as you want, yeah? You've got to work smart, as the people on here. Read what's been said. Don't just come out with the same old tribe. Don't come out with the same old tribe. Walker works hard. That's good enough for me. Walker works hard. That's good enough for me. Anyway, that's East Hull on tour gone. Walker can work as hard as he likes. If you're not going to work smart, if you're not going to cover, you're not good enough. I'll say it. You're not good enough. If you were going to make that mistake that you made against Arsenal, that 2 mistakes you made against Lyon, that mistake against Liverpool for the penalty, that mistake against Leicester for the penalty, that mistake against fouling Rashford, which would have been a penalty if Rashford had been onside. Yeah, and Queen versus King, a lot of it is up here. A lot of the game is up in your head, and Walker is not focused. He's not concentrating. We have Southampton and said it harder than absolutely Queen versus King. We've shown against teams above us in the league we're pants. 3 points from 5 games is rubbish. Absolutely, Ivan. We need to see. The thing is, I've said this. We keep getting players who aren't replacing what we've lost. We've lost Yaya Toure. We're losing Fernandinho. We're losing Aguero. We lost David Silva. And I think there's one more. We lost Company. And in 3 seasons, what have we replaced them with? We've got one replacement, and that's Diaz. Nobody else comes close. We've not replaced Yaya. I don't say we need to replace Yaya because Fernandinho was doing the business under Pep. But you need to replace Fernandinho. You do not replace Fernandinho with Rodri. And if you're going to use someone, I repeat, if you're going to use somebody like Rodri, you've got, and 2 DMs, you've got to have the quality personnel to create and score in front of you. Got that. Let's keep going. KDB, I'll give KDB a 7. And that's generous. I think he tried too hard. I think it's difficult for KDB because KDB is trying to do too much on his own. Because before he had David Silva, and there were the two of them creating, David Silva controlling. Now it's KDB. He feels onus is on him. It's all on him, up to him to provide, whereas before we had two people providing. Queen vs. King, I know you're going to say Zachariah. It's hard to replace legends, Faris, but you don't replace legends by getting people with respect, like Rodri, like Cancelo. Yeah, you don't replace legends by getting Ferran Torres might come good, but you don't replace legends like that so easily. We can see we are definitely, in my opinion, we're an attacking midfielder, a creative, controlling attacking midfielder, and a striker down. That's Houssem Aouar. And anyone you want, Patson Daka, Haaland, or whoever. I think Pep must stop tinkering with the team. He still doesn't always love and keep absolutely CRB keeps changing it around. Houssem Aouar, potential David Silva replacement, says Monomela. Agree. KDB 7 gets no help. 4 from Umar Abdurrahman. Wow, that's a bit hard. That's a bit hard to go down that level. KDB 7 had a chance to slide in Jesus. Great pass. Yeah, look, KDB he's getting greedy as well. And I've said it many times. When these things come up, when you're greedy and it comes off, it's great. When you're greedy and it doesn't come off, you deserve criticism. KDB gets a 6 from Haj, a 6.5 from Ivan. Up front. Let's do Mahrez first. Offered very little for me, very, very little. He's going to cut inside. He did one good pass to Gabriel Jesus. I'll give you credit for that, Riyadh. I think Jesus should have done better. You've got to hit it on target. But the chance that he missed, I'm sorry, you can't be doing that. I'll knock you a point for that. I'll give Riyad Mahrez a 6. Give him a 6 because, and I still think I'm being generous to Mahrez by giving him a 6. I don't think he offered us enough. He's not there to look good, and trust me, he doesn't look good. So you've got to do something. You're there to perform, and he didn't perform. Mahrez gets a 6. Gabriel Jesus, he'll get a 6 as well. Yes, he worked hard. Don't have a question about his hard work, his effort, getting into positions. But that chance, you've got to do better. You've got to do better with that chance. Let's go through some of your scores. Mahrez gets a 6.5 from Ivan, a 6.5 from Haj, 6.5 from Marua, 5.5 from JRX, and 5 from Queen vs. King, who says he doesn't take his man on. He's always cutting inside, and you just can't miss that chance. 4.5 from Abdurrahman. Jesus gets a 3 from Haj, a 4.5 from Marua. I think that's overly harsh. You've got to give him service. There's a couple of things with Jesus. He wasn't in the box at the right time, but you've got to give him service. You're not giving him service, he's not going to score. You see, with Torres without service, he's bang average. You give him when he was playing up front, you give him a service, he scores you a goal. Jesus did nice skills and bits at least during the game. Gets a 5 from Umar, 5.5 from Faris, from Mahrez, sorry. Gabby gets a 6 from JRX. Jesus gets a 7 from Ivan. But he's got to do more. I'm gutted that he missed that opportunity. And I've said over the last 2 seasons, even that formidable season, it will come to bite us in the backside. The chances we're missing, and we missed them again. Moving on, Sterling, 5 for me. 5. And I'm being kind. I think I'm being kind. Jesus gets a 7 from Queen vs. King. I think I'm being kind to give Sterling a 5. I know some people give him lower than that. Jesus gets a 6.5 from Faris. Haj gives Sterling a 3. He was terrible. You're right. A 5 from Faris for Sterling. He was poor. 3 from Monomela, 5 from Marua. Umar Abdurrahman gives Sterling a 3. He wasn't good enough. As I said, he didn't create much for anybody else. He created one for himself, didn't score. And as I said, there were chances where there's at least a couple where he failed to control the ball. One when he was through, and then right at the end, twice with Harry Maguire. He was 1-on-1 with Harry Maguire. Okay, he had his back to him, but they were in the box. A little bit of control and trickery. Maybe you win yourself a penalty. And he didn't. And he just ended up with the ball going out and he's looking for a penalty. You've got to do something. And what frustrates me about Sterling is he relies on his pace, and And this is why he struggled with Wan-Bissaka last season. He puts the ball past Wan-Bissaka and chases it. Now, against some players, you'll beat them for pace. Wan-Bissaka, you won't beat him for pace. A fast defender, you won't beat them. You have to use trickery, like Jesus tries, like Cancelo tries, like Mahrez. Now, I've said before, if Sterling had Mahrez's trickery and Sterling's pace, he'd be fantastic. And same with Mahrez. If Mahrez had Sterling's pace, he'd be brilliant. And that's the problem. Sterling is just using his pace and not trickery. Guys, I've got to give you some news, guys. I'm just going to check if this news is still, if it's still valid, this news. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just going to check the number of subscribers we've got. We're on 3,004 subscribers. 3,004 subscribers. We've gone up over 20 subscribers in the day, guys. It's been a crazy, it has been a crazy day. Because something started happening yesterday. Something started happening. People started watching one of my old Patson Daka videos, Patson Daka to Man City, that I actually put out on the 30th of October, where it was an interview with a guy called Mac, based in Hong Kong, about Patson Daka. And it's actually, in the last 48 hours, it's been my biggest watched video. And this is back from 30th of October. It's more than the Man United videos, which have not done as well as I would have liked. It's more than any other video I put out. And that's just what the viewings in the last 48 hours, which is almost 500 views in the last 48 hours. Patson Daka. And actually, I did another Patson Daka video, which it actually is a better video. And this shows you the unfortunateness of people not knowing what's in the video. The other Patson Daka video I did when I talked to Lee Wingate, who actually lives in Austria. He lives in Austria, and for 2 years he's been doing a podcast on Austrian football. He works in football in Austria. He's a translator, and he works in football for in Austria. So, you know, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff more than most. And his video in the same time has got 63 views, whereas. And his is, in my opinion, I'm not giving any disrespect to Mac, who I'll make the other Patson Daka video. But Leeds is better because of his more expert knowledge, firsthand watching these players day in, day out. And his video got 63 views in the last 48 hours, whereas Mac has got 500. So because of that, the people watching that video, I've got over 20 new subscribers today, which has got us past 3,000. It's crazy, guys. It really is. But thanks all of you guys to help me to get to 3,000 views. Sterling in the past was more than pace. Absolutely, Faris. He was more than pace, and now that's all he's got. Monomilla, I'm sick of Sterling, man. He's so one-dimensional. I agree. Jesus went past Wan-Bissaka twice. First half, Wan-Bissaka had a rotten game. He had a horrible game in that first half, okay? And Sterling couldn't do it. Since last season, I don't know what kind of player he'll be without it. Yeah, he's always got his pace. Thanks, Faris. Thanks, JRX. It is the right traffic. And this is what I've said. I get so many people coming on saying, look, the content's good. Yeah, the content's good, but I don't get the traffic. And there's nothing, to be honest, there's nothing I can do about the traffic. There's nothing. And I explain with those two videos, people don't know what's good and what's not. They rely on thumbnails or a headline. I mean, that Patson Daka video is still doing the business. You know, in the 24 views in the last 60 minutes for a video I did back in October. And that's it. You know, you can have as many subscribers as you want. It's the views that help your channel, help your site, and get you noticed a little bit. And, you know, last year, a lot of videos were getting in the thousands last year. Now they don't. So this channel has gone a bit quiet. You know, we don't get contacted as much by people asking us to contribute. You know, I don't get called by, I got contacted by Sky to go on there, not the Sky Sports, to go to Sky News to talk about, I think it was probably the FFP thing. And that was last year. So I had Sky News contacting me to, will I go on Sky News and talk to them? That was a mistake on my part. I should have done that. But it's one of those things. Didn't keep me on for long, and they didn't use it again and again and again. It wasn't worth it because I had lots to say, and you only have a little bit of time to say it. So you've got to get big points across in a short space of time. You can see I chat and chat and chat. So you can't do anything about the views. It's just the way it is. Faris been here since 1.2K. That's got to be a year ago, because I'm sure when with the lockdown it was about 1,500, or either before lockdown or just after. We had about 1,500. So we've got 1,500 in the last 6 months, which is great. But you go through spurts. We got at least between 400 and 500 in about 10 days when the Messi business was going. We got a lot of new subscribers then. It's been really quiet. But you can see it. Look, at least people say the hard work is there, because I'm interviewing football analysts from Hong Kong, India, America. Yeah, I got a guy interviewed him from Tunisia a couple of times on women's football. He does work for Total Football Analysis, interviewing guys from England, Spain, Italy, Austria. And then I'm doing videos. I've done videos today. I've recorded another video with Bettina, who is a supporter of Gothenburg for the women's. So I'm putting the hours in. Anyway, let's keep talking. Foden jerseys are the best at taking players on, and Cancelo says Queen versus King. Dre, you're late, buddy. Yeah, I think we weren't clinical. I think we created enough and kept it tight, apart from a rare bad game from Edison. Well, I think Walker had the worst mistakes, personally. And it's one of those things. If we'd scored from that Gabriel Jesus and the Mahrez chance, we wouldn't be here down in the doldrums. We will say it's a masterclass from Pep. He kept it tight and we took our chances. But when you don't take your chances, and it's been happening too often. Against Leeds, we should have beat them. Against Leicester, if Fernandinho scores, we probably win that game. Okay, against West Ham, we should have beat them. Liverpool, we should have beat them. United, we had the chances to beat them. So we've had the chances. Spurs, we were all over them in that first half. We end up losing. I think Sterling and Torres can take people on just as well. Sterling doesn't take people on, Dre. He uses his pace. Sterling's only way now is to cut inside them or put it on the outside and use his pace. That's not enough. It has to be said, Pepe's wants to manage absolutely around. Here's the decision: who will be our back four against West Brom and Southampton? Okay, West Brom we can afford to change. Personally, I just go with Diaz and Stones. They're playing well. We need to win the game. I say the game's on Tuesday. If they're fit, Diaz and Stones. If they're fit on Saturday, Diaz and Stones. If they're fit for the Carabao Cup, Diaz and Stones. Don't look at anywhere else. Diaz and Stones until they're not fit. That's it. Just go with them. Faris would play Laporte, Bernardo, Foden, Torres, and Mendy. Personally, I just say keep playing your best team. Keep playing your best team. I would be tempted to play, although Pep won't. I think Pep will play Rodri and Gundogan and KDB against West Brom. Up front, I can't see Aguero starting. I'd like to see Gabriel Jesus on the left, Sterling on the right, Ferran Torres down the middle. I'd like to see it changed up a little bit, because I think Ferran Torres gets into good positions. Dre, I don't want Sergio to start. I want him to come on as sub last 10, 15 minutes. That's it. I would have Edison in goal. I've got to probably still stick with Walker, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan, KDB, Sterling on the right, Torres down the middle, Gabriel Jesus on the left. Everybody else, that's my best team right now. And everybody else. Foden, you could put Foden in. But I want to see Sterling play on the right. I want to see what he does. And then stick to it. Stick to your best team. We need, Faris, my point is, what you can't do is relax and then end up not getting the 3 points. It's also, well, the way I look at it is, look at the games we've got, okay? We need to We need to get some momentum going again. I think, personally, the way I look at it is we've got this game on Tuesday, then a game on Saturday. That's enough time. That's 4 days. That's 4 days. Then we've got Arsenal on the 22nd. Then we've got 4 days off again till we play against Newcastle. I think the Newcastle game, we can relax just a little bit because I don't think Newcastle are going to come for us. So then I think we can make some changes for Newcastle and then go again. Everton, Chelsea, best teams. Best teams. Okay? Because from Everton to Chelsea, we got 5 days. Then we've got 5 days before we play. No, sorry, we've got 8 days before we play Birmingham in the FA Cup. So we can, that's 8. And sorry, that's 8 days to rest a few players if we want. 8 days. And then when the Carabao Cup comes around again, then I think we start mixing it up. But as long as you've got good players, we've got to stick up there. Okay. Then you can, as I said, rest a few players for Birmingham. Then we've got Brighton and Palace at home and West Brom away. Those are the 3 games I think you can start, and Sheffield United at home as well. And depending on their form, I think those are the games that you can start to rest a few players. Brighton at home, Palace at home, Sheffield United at home, West Brom and Burnley away. And then we'll have the Carabao Cup if we're still in it. And then you go for Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, West Ham, Man United, and that's all Champions League as well. So that's a massively tough period. So for me, go into Christmas with your best team and then rest them in January. What I don't want is I don't want to be 5 or 6 points behind without a game in hand. I don't want to be 6 or 7 points behind. Gabby can interchange with Torres, Sterling on the bench for JRX, Torres and Foden. Personally, I want to give Sterling a chance on the right, but we have to. Edison, Diaz, Cancelo, KDB, Jesus all had a week of rest. I feel, don't look at Liverpool as the same. I think he'll give Fernandinho a rest on Tuesday, but I want our best possible team. Do not underestimate anybody. Don't do that. Don't underestimate anybody, because you do that, you're asking for trouble. You give it your best shot with your best players as long as you can. Right, guys, we're almost up to an hour. Thanks for coming on tonight. And if you are new, once again, guys, stick with us. As I said, we've doubled our subscribers in the last 6 months. It's actually, when you talk about it like that, it's actually blooming good to double the subscribers in 6 months. Faris, enough players have got to rest. And if Pep's going to keep, look, the thing is, Faris, if Pep's going to keep picking big players for dead rubber games in the Champions League, then that's Pep's fault. It's Pep's fault. If we don't do the business, blame the manager. He's playing players in the Champions League when we were already top of the group. Don't do it. Guys, take care. Tomorrow, we'll try and do a stream in the morning because it's the Champions League draw. So I'll try and do that tomorrow, guys. And I've got to find someone to do the West Brom thing now. So I'm going to go and look for somebody to do the West Brom preview. Guys, look after yourselves. Take care.